Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm doing something different. I'm kicking off a new series on my channel called Plant ICU. Molly, I'm filming a video right now. In this series, I'm gonna introduce you to some quite neglected beaten up plants that I decided to give a second chance. And of course, I'm gonna keep you updated in a few months to show you how they're doing. She's just woken up from her nap, so she's gonna join us in this video, right? We will take a look at their current state and discuss what I'm planning to do with them, what treatment options we have, and then just give you an insight on my personal reasons why I decided to even bother saving them. I'm super excited about this video today. Can we start, Molly? I got into this planty hobby not too long ago, basically this year. So it's been 7 months and I find this really rewarding, and it's just so nice to see the plants growing, and it's so exciting when a new leaf is unfurling. And yeah, I quite enjoy it. And to be honest with you, it's a different kind of satisfaction when you can actually save a plant, especially if you find your wishlist plants on the rescue shelf, which happened to me actually. I'm going to show you 3 different plants, and 2 of those are my wishlist plants. So yeah, and also, I don't know, I'm socially quite sensitive, but it makes me feel good when I can actually take a plant home that no one really wanted. As I said, especially if it's a wishlist plant, and it gives me a sense of accomplishment that I'm actually good in this hobby if I can, propagate a plant, or everything that I planned with that specific plant works out. So that's my plan for today. I've already saved a couple of plants previously. I actually did a plant haul video where I featured them. You can watch it here. And they seem to be doing all good. And so this encouraged me to try and save these plants. So let's get started. I prepared a couple of stuff here for myself. Okay, so the first plant we're gonna try to rehab is this. This is an Epipremnum Pinnatum Variegated. And this poor guy is basically hanging on by a thread. So yeah, the plant looks quite beaten up. I don't know what might have happened to this one, but first I'm gonna examine the roots, of course. But what gives me some hope is the stem looks completely healthy and firm, and it's still green, as you can see. And I actually found a couple of viable nodes along the stem. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to chop the stem and propagate it, and quite a few green flags. So this is a completely new leaf. It's currently trying to unfurl. And there are 2 completely healthy looking leaves, and one of them is actually variegated. Can you see the variegation there? So I have hope that this plant's gonna bounce back and actually give me some beautiful variegated leaves. And so this was one of the wishlist plants, and if you're not familiar with this one, I will put a picture on the screen for you. So you can either grow this plant as a trailing plant, or you can put it on a moss bowl. And you guys, if it's actually rooting into the moss, it can grow huge, beautiful, fenestrated, white variegated leaves. And wow, so that's my plan. And it's just so exciting to see if it's gonna work out or not. Because I mean, just look at this guy. So I'm gonna put on my gloves. We are going to inspect the roots first. I hope it's not rotting or anything. Oh. I can't really smell any funky, foul smell. I can only smell the soil, nothing else. So, oh my gosh. So what I can see is that this is two different plants. You can still kind of see that web, that nursery web, or I don't know what it's called, that they were potted, that they were propagated in. But as I said, I can't really smell root rot, and actually, okay, so I have two separate plants, and you can see two very healthy fermented roots here, and it's not mushy and it's just dirty, but I can see that it's light brown / whitish, so I would say that's quite, they seem quite healthy. So I'm just gonna get rid of this web here. Okay, there are more roots here. I can't really see if they are rotten or not. They don't really smell like anything. So I will put this one aside and work with the other one, and then I give them a shower. Okay, so this one, there's actually a quite thick root coming out of this nursery web. Molly just went back to nothing. It's quite rainy and windy outside. Days like this, she's basically sleeping through the day. I mean, I can understand her. I don't really understand, like, I got rid of that web and then I just don't really understand this root structure. Why this section, like the upper section of the root, is very thin and then it continues to be thicker. If that's root at all, I mean, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna shower these and I will be back in a second. Actually, I decided to trim off the dead leaves and yellow leaves first, and then I'm gonna shower it. This one basically has that upper section has one leaf left, which is still, well, it's quite mushy, so I'm not sure it's gonna survive. In fact, I think I'm just gonna have to get rid of this entire upper section because it's mushy. So yeah, I think I'm gonna cut here. There's I think it's an area root here, I guess. Another one. So this is one plant. Well, it doesn't look much now, but I have high hopes for this plant. And it's gonna be definitely more rewarding to get this crappy looking stem and transfer it to a beautiful, lush, fenestrated giant moss pole plant. The other one has more potential due to these two healthy leaves and actually has more roots. But we're gonna see more of the roots once I wash them off. So just get rid. Okay. Now that I showered off the plants, I'm not even confident that I actually bought a plant. It looks more like a cutting. So yeah, the original price of this plant was $19, and then it was on 50% discounts. In other garden centers, I usually find these for anything between from $20 to $45. Well, obviously those plants are more established and healthy and lush. So at this point, I'm not sure that it was worth $9, but I'm not gonna let this discourage me from this experience, because even if it's not gonna work out, at least I tried, and it's all a journey and a learning process. But you know what? I'm quite confident about this plant. So after showering, I already showed you these two thick and healthy roots. I'm not sure about these tiny, like very thin roots. Some section of those roots seem to be doing okay. They're white, but the majority of those roots they're just too thin to be viable. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of these thin ones and keep these two ones. And then there is another one on the top section there. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. The other stem, I think I'm just gonna get a brush and try to brush the dirt off. I was trying to be gentle in the shower because I didn't want to damage further this plant. There is another kind of root which is it's firm, but it's completely dark. I just don't wanna, keep these roots, and then once I propagated them and did all the process, turns out it's rotting, and then I have to repot it again and treat it with, hydrogen peroxide. I just don't want that pain. I want to set this plant up for success today. So I don't take risks. I only keep those roots that I think are worth keeping. I'm gonna mix some water and hydrogen peroxide, and I will be back. But first, a little coffee. Look at her taking a nap and not giving a damn about anything. I don't like to throw out used Tim Horton cups or Starbucks cups. I usually just wash them and keep them because they're perfect for measuring stuff and perfect for using these as, when you sanitize and clean your plants. They are perfect. I don't like to use actual glasses and, stuff. So I have 2 parts of water, and then I'm gonna add 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide. I have another hydrogen peroxide spray, which I'm using to sanitize the scissor and other tools. It truly feels like an ICU, giving an actual treatment and rehab for someone in critical condition. I have these. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip it. I don't want to soak it and leave it in because I only do that when there is actual root rot on an actual established root system. That's when I do the soaking for like 15 or 20 minutes. But I'm just gonna quickly soak it and then take it out and let it dry. I don't know what I was thinking. So first we're gonna get rid of the mushy, nasty parts, and then we're gonna soak it, dip it just for a few seconds. And then when we're going to let it air dry and callus a little bit for an hour or a couple of hours, we'll see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna propagate it by every 2 nodes, if that makes sense. And just above the node, you cut it there. And so I'm gonna put this in water, and hopefully in a couple weeks, the new root's gonna shoot from here. Here, we got these 2, and then this one. This one is very firm. I'm not sure about these 3. I mean, even this one is quite firm. We'll see. Let's dip it, shall we? I'm more optimistic about this one. I might just split this one into 3. 1 cut here. And so that's gonna have 2 leaves already and 2 thick roots. And then, so here. And then we're gonna have this section there. It has 1 new leaf. It's not mushy at all. Here is the 3rd section. I'm just gonna, no, actually there is 1 tiny root there. I'm not sure if you can see it. That looks healthy. So I'm gonna keep that one. See there? Dip, dip. So these are drying, and I have this soak a little bit for 15 minutes. Our next patient is this guy. This is a Philodendron Subhastatum. Subhastatum. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. This guy looks like he's been through everything imaginable and possible. But despite the overall look, I think it's a healthy plant. The soil is definitely dry and compacted, and the stem grows quite funky, in a funky way. and I just don't like this look. I think this is the oldest leaf. It looks okay. The largest leaf is torn. And I think this is the newest leaf. Now, I don't know what's going on. I suspect overwatering. It's crumpled and tiny for a new leaf. So yeah. What caught my attention was the underside. It looks so cool. Red, pink, and green. And I also love climbing philodendron. And I already mentioned this in another video, but I don't really like those climbing philodendrons that have very thick stem. But the foliage compensates the thick stem, I believe, because I checked how this plant's supposed to look on Instagram, and the foliage grows quite large. And in comparison with the stem, I think it looks gorgeous. So that's why I decided to give it a chance. I think I got this plant for $6. I mean, it's still not too cheap. The plant store that I got all these from are not the cheapest one, but I mean, I've never really come across this plant anywhere else. So let's see what treatment options we have. As I mentioned, I do see some viable nodes along the stem. And I also said that I don't really like how this grows, like in a very twisted way. I don't know if it's the natural growth pattern. I'm not sure. I don't think so. It maybe didn't receive enough light along with the underwatering. I'm not sure. So I think we have two options in this case. We either just trim off the leaves that are not serving the plant so we can reduce the stress and let it bounce back itself. Or, of course, after repotting, I could just cut it in half like here. And so I could have multiple plants. I could basically have a backup plant if one of them decides to die. Okay. So I'm happy to see a quite healthy and established root system. I think it's also root bound. So that could have been one of the reasons why this plant looks the way it looks. So I'm just gonna get rid of the soil. We don't need the soil at all. Label says bright, indirect light, climbing, allow soil to dry slightly before watering, feed once a month during growing season, and then this climbing vine can reach 6 feet high. Prefers between 18 to 27 Celsius degrees. And I love that they even include do not eat. I think I saw something on the leaf, on the underside of the leaf. Not sure what was that. I give this one a shower and I will be back. All the cuttings have calloused over, which I don't usually wait for it to happen when it's water propagation, but I just decided to wait for it. I got this cute propagation station, or propagation tubes, if you will. You might ask, why did I put this one? in water, and the reason being I just wanted to have a more established root system before putting it off into soil. So this is it. I think it's actually looking cute. I take it out of the hydrogen peroxide cocktail, so I'm letting this one dry, and actually we can get rid of everything that we don't need. So I'm just cutting off the dried off area roots. I think I'm gonna cut the plant here. And so I'm gonna keep this section. I'm gonna get rid of this leaf, but I'm gonna keep this one so that it can still photosynthesize. And then I'm gonna have the lower section with an established root system, which is great. Whatever happens to any of the plants, I will have a backup. But I'm positive that this plant's gonna be okay. And what I was thinking is I usually propagate in water. I usually propagate pothos and for example, the Philodendron micans in water. And I actually propagated my happy bean, but I was just basically sticking the cutting into the soil. So I'm not sure if I want to use sphagnum moss for this propagation or I should use water. Oh! Or I could separate these as well. Should I do that? Yeah, I might just do that. Why not? Or not? Okay. I could also cut somewhere here so that I would have 3 plants. Oh, dang it. Oh, I snapped it. Oh. Okay. This was faith. Goodbye. The last plant is also a wishlist plant for me, and I've just realized that I subconsciously triaged the plants. I started with the one that was in the worst condition, and then the last one is basically, I believe, the healthiest one of all of these, so it's a bit funny. But this is Scindapsus, Jade, Satin. And honestly, guys, I don't know what's wrong with this plant. I don't think that's anything wrong with it. It was $5. And I think the original price for a lush and healthy plant was around $35. So I'm quite satisfied with this. I was quite happy when I found this one. I already have a Scindapsus exotica and the Scindapsus N Satin in my collection, and I'm gonna check on the roots because the soil looks a bit compacted, but other than that, the leaves are firm and healthy. I love this dark green leaves. Actually, what I love about this plant is the no variegation whatsoever. And yeah, I think the reason this was on the rescue shop is because it only has like 4 leaves. I think one is growing at the moment. So yeah, but I'm really happy that I found this plant, and I'm really excited. There's actually a new growth there. So yeah, let's see what we have here. I can see some roots in the soil, but weirdly it's healthy and not mushy. Okay. Oops. Okay. These two sections are completely healthy with firm, established root system. And then we have there is another node cutting. So we have 1, 2, 3 nodes, 3 cuttings without leaves but nice root system, and we have 2 cuttings with leaves and root system as well. So I'm gonna shower these, let them dry, dip them into hydrogen peroxide, and I think I'm just gonna pop them up because yeah, these are completely healthy. When I was washing off the roots, some parts that seemed healthy did come off, so I guess they were weakened a little bit. We are done with the Epipremnum. So they're gonna be in this cute propagation station. I still have this one soaking, and we are actually ready to put these philodendron propagations up. Depending on what type of plant I'm talking about, I usually use different kind of potting mediums and soils. Cages I have a roid mix, which is quite pricey, so I'm trying to be cost effective and budgeting. So when it comes to less finicky plants, for example, the philodendron or even Scindapsus or pothos, I'm trying to either mix some aroid mix with just regular soil, or I have a bunch of leca. I usually mix leca, perlite, and just regular soil mix. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pot up the Scindapsus using this soil mix. I'm gonna do the same with the philodendron that has roots. And then the other two, I'm gonna use sphagnum. And actually this is a new thing that I started to do because I've been dealing with root rot with my Philodendron varicosum, and I'm trying to rehab that one in sphagnum moss. And I actually did a research. If you pour boiling water on the sphagnum moss, you can basically eliminate any risk for the root rot to return. Obviously, if you follow other rules like disinfect the roots. So whatever, the point is, I would recommend you to try this method if you have been dealing with root rot, even though you feel like you do everything right. I will water it, but just with water. I'm not gonna fertilize it just yet. To support the rehab, I'm gonna use this humidity dome just to give it some boost. And I'm gonna put this one in my IKEA cabinet. Now we're dealing with these two. I'm gonna use these clear plastic cups. I think I'm gonna use the other cup as a humidity booster, but I'm gonna drill some holes on top of it just to provide some airflow. I think I will put these up all together. I don't think that a larger pot is needed. Like I don't think that's needed, or I might just put them up separately, because why not? Like I could put these together, or maybe with this, put these together. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have some neem oil and distilled water. I just want to get rid of the tap water residue. And we are all done today. I quite enjoyed actually making this video and propagating and saving these plants, and I'm really interested and excited about them, truly. And I'm quite optimistic. I truly believe that they're gonna thrive. I'm especially excited about the Epipremnum. And you guys let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will definitely keep you updated on the progress. So I forgot to mention today is July 10th. I think I'm gonna do a follow-up video around mid-September, end of September. If you wanna see that video, and if you are also invested in this little rescue mission, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Take care, be well, and see you in the next video. Bye.